Ability, wasn't there, from the first half with those wasted chances, and now looking at that, I mean, that does not make pretty reading, does it? That is the last 8 results, all of them under Ange Postecoglou, and you can see the red L's on the right, 6 of them. Now they have conceded 18 goals in those 8 games, 6 defeats. Shay, give it.
Yeah, it doesn't make good reading, does it? Doesn't look good on the graph either. It's it's a tough day for Ange Postecoglou once again, and the Nottingham Forest fans. We said at half time the chances they created in the first half, they should have got their nose in front at least. And I think Maresca, we did mention at half time, they felt they got away with it in the first half. Chelsea were well below par. That was the opportunity for Nottingham Forest to get their nose in front. They made 3 substitutions at half time. Chelsea looked a different team second half, and again, it's interesting to see what Ange says after the game. It's a missed opportunity. But again, you see the fans leaving early. The owner even left early today, which is a real concern if you're the manager. He didn't sit it out himself. What's his thoughts now? Because we've seen him storm onto the pitch previously. But this club has been out of the Premier League for so long. They're back in it a couple of years now. They want to stay there. So the pressure again is going to mount on Ange Postecoglou this evening.
Gary, good day, wasn't it, for your old team? That triple change at half-time, up to the Champions League spots, into the top 4 Chelsea, and job done after a really disappointing first half an hour or so.
Yeah, it's exactly that, job done. Clearly the manager wanted a reaction in the second half with the 3 substitutions that he made. He got that. And obviously second half, like Shay said, we saw a different animal in Chelsea. Sloppy first half, but nevertheless, these are sometimes the occasions for Chelsea. You talk about the next level for Chelsea is obviously, competing.
Yeah, congratulations, guys. You've just been celebrating with the travelling Chelsea supporters. But Reece, how good did that feel for you to score on your 200th Chelsea appearance today and get all 3 points too?
No, it was amazing. Always coming back after international break. We've always found it tough. Last time on international break we had, our form wasn't so good when we came back, so we knew we needed to, make changes and start fast. And coming here is a super tough place to come. And first half we created a few chances, but it was 0-0. And second half we came alive, and we got the 3 points.
Josh, what a special moment for you. Your first senior goal for Chelsea. How did that feel?
No, it was quite a surreal experience. It's just a proud moment for me and my family, and I just want to thank God.
Reece, how proud are you of him, seeing him come through the Chelsea youth system?
Yeah, no, it's amazing to see. He's finally, playing more regular, and he's showing the world, how good he is and what he's capable of. And he's an amazing boy and an amazing player, and long may it continue.
As 2 academy boys, what's it like for you having someone like Reece to look up to, who's now the captain of this club?
Yeah, it's that inspiration to know that you can come through the academy and play for Chelsea first team. So I'm also grateful for Reece and all the other academy players. They give me lots of support, so it's good.
Much more to come from him?
Yeah, for sure. He's still so young. He's played a decent amount of games, but he's so young. He has a super bright future, and he'll kick on for sure.
You talked about the importance of getting this result today. How tough did you find it out there, particularly in that first half, as you mentioned, knowing that this Forest team were going to be fighting for absolutely everything today?
Yeah, of course. They made it tough for us. It's always hard, playing against a 5, when they was maybe slightly more defensive. But, as the game went on, we kind of got into our rhythm a bit more and, created more. And then we finally, took the chances when they fell to us.
Well done today. Congratulations, both of you. And Reece, you're today's player of the match. Well done. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Gary, there was a lot of focus, wasn't there, of course, on Nottingham Forest and all the build-up we spent talking about Ange Postecoglou. But we should mention, well done Chelsea, getting the job done into the top 4, because, on their first half performance, 3-0 didn't look like it was on the bingo card, did it?
No, it didn't, certainly didn't. So credit to Chelsea, for obviously getting the job done, like we said. These are the games that you need to win if you want to challenge up near the top. But Nottingham Forest made it very difficult for Chelsea, especially in the first half. You could say slightly fortunate, because at this level you have to take your chances. From Nottingham Forest point of view, the game could have been dead and buried. There was numerous chances in that first half. They didn't take them, and this is the level you get punished. I think there was 2 goals in 3 minutes, and that's the game finished. So credit to Chelsea, they got the job done, 3 points in the pocket. That's Forest is unfortunate.
Shay, you thought those Forest chances could come back to haunt them, and you were right.
Yeah, I think Maresca as well at half time said the first half wasn't good enough, and of course the He didn't take them. This is obviously the first goal. It's a brilliant ball from Neto. Don't get me wrong, it's a fantastic ball. But we're trying to look at the defensive side of things here from a Nottingham Forest. Murillo gets attached to Geu, and he's not. Doesn't know that Josh is behind him. He really doesn't. There's a gap between him and Morata around the back. Champong is free as a birdie. 19 Premier League first goal. It's don't get an easier header. Well, I don't think, to be honest. But from a Nottingham Forest point of view, I think Murillo's got to pass him on to Sangara. He's got to drop into the space. I feel for Morata around the back, because he's a 2v1 around the back, and it's a simple goal in a sense. But what does make the goal, take nothing away from obviously being in the box, but the ball from Neto was world class. Brilliant ball.
What does the former centre back make of that though in the 6-yard box?
It was a great summary. It was a great summary from the goalkeeper's point of view. I think he's right, Murillo. I think where he falls short, he's just not scanning initially. I'm not sure he's aware that Champong was behind him. Initially he's got his man, or what he thinks he's got his man. He's touched tight. He goes behind, and obviously he's got a free header now. The gap is too big. But like I said, I think the error comes initially from not just opening your body position and just scanning just to see. He wasn't quite aware that he was behind him. He felt the man next to him. He went with that run. Obviously neglecting the guy behind. But take nothing away. This is the quality, this is the difference sometimes, and Neto's involved in obviously the 2 goals. But this is sometimes the quality. If that ball's short, it's cleared away. The ball was inch perfect.
And the damage came in quick fire, didn't it? What did you make, Shay, of the wall, the setup from a Forest point of view for this Pedro Neto free kick?
Well, again, I think there's a camera shot to Ange after this, and it's really poor. Honestly, it's so poor defending. We highlight here Jesus on the wall. I don't know where he goes. Keep an eye on him. He takes a step to the right, leaves a massive gap now. That's where he's supposed to be standing. Well, exactly where we have that shaded ground. Sales has a look. I think he leans to his right hand side. You see he's putting his weight to the right hand side. He's trying to get a look at the ball, because as a goalkeeper you feel a bit, if you can't see the ball, you're in trouble. But again, take nothing away from Sales. I think he should save it. I think he should go with one hand. I think he should drive off and make the block. Neto's thinking, I hit the target, I've got a chance. But again, from a defensive point of view, there was, as I say, there's a close-up of the manager, and he's gone down these hunkers. That's a basic defending. He should stay in the wall, Jesus. Sales should save it as well. A couple of mistakes there, and they're 2-0 down, mountain decline. Very
clever set piece in a way as well. Just that movement, that 1 yard of moving the ball has disrupted the wall and created this space. You see, if he hits it through now, they stay in the wall. That one touch has created that space, has made a reaction in the wall, and the wall now is all over the place.
Well, what I would say, he shouldn't move, Jesus.
No, I don't know where he was going.
You can see on the outside there's 2 chargers. I don't know where he's going. He just wanders away from the wall. It's poor.
I would have thought his first reaction was to go to charge the ball down. He's almost took a step to the right. Like we said, I'm not quite sure why he's made that movement, but he doesn't make that movement if the ball's not touched. So I thought it was a clever piece of play. And
the strikers should never be back defending well. Haven't got a clue.
On the set pieces, guys, 11 of the 18 goals that Forest have conceded under Ange Postecoglou have come from set pieces, and this is not a new story. This happened at Tottenham as well. It's the worry, isn't it?
It is a concern, yeah, certainly is, because I remember him going through that period at Tottenham as well, and I think he came in a press conference and said we don't really work on them. I think you should work on them now. When you're paying the price and it's costing you, I think you should, but that's not a great start.
Is that you concentrating on the weeds coming up?
The weeds?
The weeds that he spoke about before?
Yeah, there weren't many flowers, which is what he was hoping for.
No, he wasn't.
There wasn't, no.
It got worse, didn't it? It could have been more than 3. That's the only sort of positive, that it didn't get completely ugly. But the third came from Reece James late on.
Yeah, when you're down in the bottom of the league as well, the confidence is low. Half the crowd have left at this stage, but it's a set play again. It will be a worry for Ange. It will be a worry for Nottingham Forest. It's unacceptable. We've highlighted Williams and Reece here, and he just wanders off. I'm not sure if Williams is doing the edge of the box or he's supposed to be picking up Reece James, but he actually does neither. He sort of comes alive when it's too late. And again, I'll have to look at Matt Sells with the punch. I think he's got to go height and distance with the punch and get it away from it. But take nothing away from Reece James. He comes alive in the box, and it's easy to thrash at that and lash it over the bar or something. It's just control finish, and a nice finish from the captain.
Yeah, it's technically gifted, Reece, so obviously he's in the right place, right time, falls to the right man. But I agree, I think the keeper could have maybe been a little bit more commanding in that instance.
Yeah.
Going back to the set piece chat, I say it's 11 out of the 18 goals. That is more than double of anyone else in the Premier League during that time. And to throw a few more stats at you, Ange Postecoglou at Tottenham in the 2 seasons there, it was 41 from set pieces, which during that period only Wolves were worse. And then you have him defiantly saying we don't need to work at set pieces.
Well, I wouldn't agree with that. I think you look at the top rows, Arsenal at the very top at the minute. You know, how many set pieces do they score from and how many don't they score from? Because a set play coach's job is about creating on one side, but at the other side is defending well, not conceding goals. That's part of his job as well. Ange Postecoglou doesn't believe in a set play coach, but them stats don't make good reading, I think, if you're a Nottingham Forest or a Spurs fan for that matter.
So there weren't too many flowers, but there were some green shoots. And when we talked about the ones in the first half, there were a couple of green shoots in the second half. And Ange Postecoglou can't put these in the back of the net himself, can he?
No, I agree. I don't want to be cliche and say that there was positive to take, but there definitely was. In the first half, I was impressed with the way that they went about the game. I feel sorry a little bit for Ange Postecoglou in this game. You know, like you said, it wasn't that the tactics was particularly wrong or they didn't create enough chances. They was the dominant team in the first half, created bundles and bundles of opportunities and didn't put the ball in the back of the net. Like you just said, he must be scratching his head thinking, what else can I do apart from come on and kick it in myself? You said, Shay, didn't you? You could play all day without scoring. It just felt like one of those games.
You know, Igor Jesus.
Yeah, like we're saying here, opportunity after opportunity. Again, I mean, when your luck's not in, your luck's not in. It's hit the underside of the crossbar and off the post at the same time. Incredible. But again, you have to take these chances. These are the levels, these are the margins. If you don't take your chances, you get punished. And they had loads of chances today, so...
What you would say, I suppose, Gary, in a positive is, you know, Ange is in shot there. There was a lot of positives. I know it was hard to say that after a 3-0 defeat at home. There was a lot of positives for Nottingham Forest. We spoke about half-time. We spoke about how good Nottingham Forest were. Yep. You know, the chances they missed. And again, that's just the second half chances as well. So again, if you can sort of peel it all back a bit, stop conceding from set plays and actually keep creating chances like you are doing, maybe they can turn a corner. Now, the big worry you mentioned, the owner left after with 20 minutes to go. That's a bigger concern for Ange than maybe the missed chances right now.
How worried would you be if you were Ange Postecoglou seeing this, Gary?
Yeah, we did think...
We don't know where he went, but we're reading between the lines, he's not there.
Well, one thing, we don't know where he went, but we know he didn't come back. And I think we were chatting in the break, didn't we, saying, was he gone for a coffee or is he not? And he's obviously disappeared, which is not great. It's not a good look. But like I said, when you look at positives from Nottingham Forest, then Ange will look at his team and go, like, how did he go about business today? I thought their attitude was first class. I thought their willingness. It wasn't like you were watching a team there that was down tools or had no idea tactically. I thought like I said, in the first half did very well. Chelsea was stronger in the second half.
And we're waiting to hear from Ange Postecoglou, but we know how he will dress this up. We know that he will talk about the positives and the missed chances and the opportunities had they gone 2-0, 3-0 up potentially in that first half. But from a player's point of view, if you boys were in the dressing room, you're on the training ground next week. Have you seen enough from what your manager's trying to do to keep belief in him? Yeah.
Well, even if you've done the highlights programme of the game today, you know, the positive stuff, the attacking stuff, how they created lots of chances against Chelsea. We mentioned, you know, 2 points off top of the league. This is against a top team, and they created all these chances. Now, can they tighten up at the back and obviously take their chances? That's the big one.
Shay, let me stop you there and bring you some breaking news, because Ange Postecoglou has been sacked as head coach of Nottingham Forest just minutes after that 3-0 defeat against Chelsea at the City Ground. Guys, your reaction to that? We've just been talking about the owner, Evangelos Marinakis, leaving his seat well before the 70th minute of that game. I said to you before this game had even kicked off, Evangelos Marinakis, who also owns Olympiakos in Greece since he's been there in 2010, has hired and fired 24 head coaches. He's not afraid to pull the trigger, and he's done it, Shay.
Well, he's obviously left early to get the typewriter on the go and type up a P45 for Ange. I mean, that's me being sort of trying to put a bit of a jovial swing on it, but a month in the job, you know, we talk about management under pressure early on. That is madness, really, if you think about it. Surely you have to do your homework before you bring the manager in. Surely you got to back him and you got to give him time to get his messages across. But again, when we said you said it in the green room, when he left his seat early, that does not bode well for the manager, and to do it so soon after the game. And even Ange, we've seen pictures of Ange, haven't we, on the pitch, sort of standing as a lone figure, you know, just sort of taking it in and clapping, thinking, did he think then it was the end of the road?
Well, and Gary, Ange will still be in the stadium. He will still be at the City Ground. These were the pictures, only 10 minutes ago. Wow. And that conversation, Gary, has happened very, very quickly. How surprised are you? You know, even if you thought perhaps he might go in the week or even ahead of the Porto or the Bournemouth game, but so quickly after the full-time whistle has gone, Gary.
No, incredible. Yeah, absolutely incredible, to be honest. We obviously knew he was under pressure, clearly. You know, that was obvious for everyone to see, but everyone expected him to have more time. It seems very reactive, doesn't it? Like you said, he has a history of that. But yeah,
Gary, let me just bring you this statement from Nottingham Forest I've got in front of me here. They say Nottingham Forest Football Club can confirm that after a series of disappointing results and performances, Ange Postecoglou has been relieved of his duties as head coach with immediate effect. The club will make no further comment at this time. But Shay, to pick up on that exact point, after a series of disappointing results, it's 8 games. You know, I've heard people like Alan Shearer say it's too soon, you know, it's just not enough. I mean, Tim Sherwood saying to me the other day as well, it's just not enough time with international breaks as well to have time on the training ground with those players.
Yeah.
Marinakis doesn't care about that. He's a businessman, he wants results. Is it almost, can you see, you know, to his credit that he's acting quickly, sharply to save their season?
Yeah, I mean, if they stay in the division, they bring a new manager in and there's a turn of results and they climb away from the danger, because there's no doubt about it. They're, I think, a point above the relegation zone. They're close to the trapdoor. The owner has backed the managers, you know, the previous manager, this manager, in the transfer window, in the sense that he's put a lot of money into the football club, and he's got the right, I suppose, to make that big decision. He does not want to risk Nottingham Forest being in a relegation fight all season. He doesn't want to be in any relegation fight. He doesn't want them relegated. Of course, that's stating the absolute obvious, but he doesn't want to take any risk. I mean, the only thing I would say in Ange's defence is, you mentioned international break the last 2 weeks. If you take that out of it, they've had a game every 3 days when you include the European games. He's had very little proper training days
and
on the grass.
Break, 75%
Do you know what I mean?
of his players
half the team's not even there. So on the grass, working with this team, the new system, the new way he wants to play, I'd be surprised if he has had a week's full training with these guys.
And of course, we're reading between the lines, but I said, you know, at half-time, I think that these talks didn't go ahead, according to Ange Postecoglou, with the owner. I wonder whether, you know, he knew the situation, that if it was another defeat, then time was up.
That's what I was just going to say, you know, because we're going to throw the question out there and say, this news has broke so quickly after the full time. Has he even had the conversation with Ange? Because naturally, after the end of the game, the manager goes in the dressing room, has a debrief with the squad, etc. This is almost broke before they will have had any time, unless when he left his seat, he's waiting in the tunnel.
What does this mean for Ange? I mean, we'll talk about Forest, of course, but for him as a Premier League manager, you know, he will say he wasn't a failure at Tottenham because he threw all the eggs in the Europa League basket and that came to fruition, right? And he got them into the Champions League. You know, should we be able to see him again as a Premier League manager?
I think we'll definitely see him back as a manager, be that the Premier League or somewhere else in the world. He'll definitely be back in because he loves managing football. I just think, you know, in his defence, he didn't have much time. You know, any manager, the best manager in the world, Pep Guardiola, going into this club, you know, after a month, you know, the results speak for themselves. That, you know, when you look at that, it's
well, that will be on the CV.
Yeah,
the 8 games.
That'll be on the CV, but also, you know, he didn't have a pre-season with his team. He didn't, as I say, going back to the fixtures, how many games in short succession as well. The international break in there as well. He didn't get much time to work with these players, and that's the thing. I think with other chairman and chief executives will think, well, he was given no time in Nottingham Forest to get his plan across. You know, someone will give him the opportunity. I said about the success he had at Tottenham with the Europa League, and of course Glasgow Celtic as well. He had huge success with them also.
There will be people watching Gary who'll say this is crazy. You know, he's had 39 days in charge, right? It is the second longest stint in charge of a Premier League club after Sam Allardyce, your old manager, when he was at Leeds.
No, I agree, and that will be the view of many people, I'm sure. Even, you know, his colleagues in terms of the managers in the league will look at that and be shocked, I'm sure. To have such little time to work with the squad, you know, he's came in, like Shay says, with no pre-season. He's came in with the first year in many years, whether in European competition, so that's different for the squad in terms of the travel, etc. The results that we've just seen there speak for themselves, very, very poor. But he will argue, and his case will be, I have no time. I've had no time or proper time to work with this squad or to turn anything around. Very reactive.
18 minutes after the full-time whistle statement came in.
Yeah, which is what I said. You make a good point. Maybe he knew the outcome if he lost the game. Maybe he knew that already. We don't know the situation. If not, I'm sure, I would have liked to think that he would have the respect to speak to the manager before announcing it. That's all I'm saying. So maybe he did know before.
And of course, it's no secret in terms of who we are now talking about who's potentially in the frame. I mean, you know, Sean Dyche has been mentioned. It seems crazy to even look ahead so quickly after kickoff. But Sean Dyche, his assistant coaches, he has Steve Stone, Ian Wone, which is a tap in at the City Ground in terms of getting feel-good factor back. What kind of direction do you think that Forest would need to go in now? They've got, you know, in terms of the base of the squad, there's some really good players for a manager to work with there. Shay.
Yeah, well, again, they freshened the squad up in the summer, and again, you know, does the owner think we need to go back to a manager similar to Nuno, and that would be somebody like Sean Dyche. You know, defensively really solid. And we spoke about before the game today about being very quick on the counter-attack, giving up possession to the opposition, but being nice and solid defensively. Obviously tighten up in set plays, where you know Sean Dyche is someone who looks hard into things like that as well. It's just what we do know as well. When Nuno got the sack, I think Ange was in position in the matter of hours. So has Marinakis used the last couple of weeks to be speaking to potential new managers? And I was surprised, as you said before the game, Will, that he said that, you know, he had 2 weeks international break and he didn't speak to him. He was supposed to, you know, have a catch up and meet, and that was worrying. I thought, for Ange's point of view, when he did not meet him over the last 2 weeks, there was no football. Perfect opportunity to sit down with the club owner and go, where are we going with this? He didn't speak to him, and as Gary probably rightly says, maybe Ange on the pitch at the end kind of knew that was the end of the road.
And look, to balance it out, just with the owner's decision and his side of things, he will be thinking, Gary, look, I pumped a lot of money into this football club over the summer, not just over the summer, over my time here, but particularly over the summer, with players that he thought were going to take them to the next level. He's brought in a manager in terms of Ange, who he thinks at the time they're going to play the football that the fans want to see. Now, this football club hasn't played in Europe for 30 years. They're doing their best to get out of Europe early on. You know, this is still salvageable, though, isn't it, for whoever comes in?
Yeah, of course it is, and he's made the decision, and he has the right to. Like you said, he pumped his money in. He's the owner of the club. He has the right to make these decisions if he feels that it's necessary and beneficial for the football club. We spoke before at the top of the show about how passionate he is about the football club. Maybe he's made the reaction, like you said, because he didn't want to get into that relegation fight. He wants to make a reaction now while there's still plenty of time. It's not going in the direction that he felt it would do, so he made the change. But it's very reactive.
So there we go, the breaking news on Premier League Live. Ange Postecoglou sacked as